beautiful souls. I am Awakened Soul, and today we're going to be reviewing Bitcoin and we're going to be setting it up for our next trade. Especially today, it's really important because the monthly candle has officially closed. So the July candle is open for the monthly, and then we have our weekly open, and then we have our daily open. So really important. So first thing we're going to do, like we always start, one touch, two touch, monthly trend line, and my monthly is red. I do use the chakra colors. I use 1226 EMAs. I am using the index chart under the log scale. Okay, really important for me to share that information with you. So really quick, just like I always do, I'm going to come in, set my trend line. What does this tell me? Price action above 1226, bullish trend. Price action under 1226, bearish trend, right? So one touch, two touch, highest peak. This is my bearish target. And because we have a new weekly high candle, our trend line for our resistance will change here. And this is going to be our resistance trend line. One touch, two touch. This is the lowest price action. And this is going to be my bullish target. I'm going to go ahead and highlight them because, like always, by the time I am done, we always have a techno party going on. Perfect. And as a day trader, it is important to mark your ranges. Okay, so how do I mark my range? Just look at the previous candle. Okay, never use a live candle. Just look at the previous candle and mark it. So this is going to be my monthly high, my monthly low, and that's my monthly range. I'm going to come down to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, let me just fix all those trend lines here. I want to make sure they're nice and 40K. 12K. Wonderful. So you could go ahead. I'm going to take my RSI off. So using the pi indicator, it was brought to my attention that this is the true high, not this one. This was just the extra pump. So, and what I mean by the pi indicator, I mean this pi cycle top indicator, right? If you bring it up, it's going to mark the highs of the alts, the bull markets, right? So because this is telling me that this was the true top, I'm going to use this trend line. And for me, this trend line is super critical on my weekly time frame, right? So I want to make sure price action stays under this weekly trend line. And if we do stay under, you know, we're just going to rotate. So big trend line there. I just wanted to show you why I marked it, because I never cross wicks. And it seems kind of odd, but this is the reason. Okay, so, and when I'm in my weekly, what am I looking? I'm looking to see what my contraction phase. Remember, we are dealing with two contraction phases here. One contraction phase, trend down contraction phase. So it's important for you to assess the contraction phase that you're playing with, and what is this contraction phase doing, right? So what do we see? What can we observe? So I'm just going to connect some trend lines, and if you need help knowing or seeing what trend lines to connect, you can always use higher high, lower low indicator, and that's going to guide you and help you you know, just connect some trend lines. Okay, and I use the 3, the 6, the 9, sometimes the 15, sometimes the 30. You know, it depends what I want to see. Sometimes I want to see less highs and less lows. Sometimes I want to see more. It depends on the time frame. So this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful support on my weekly. And I also want to mark this high. So right off the bat, this contraction phase to me looks like a rising wedge, right? It looks like a rising wedge. So something to consider. And now that I have my trend lines, what is my range, right? Because we're day traders, we're trading, we want to know our next setup. So this is going to be my range. Previous candle, like I mentioned, just go ahead and mark it. orange. Remember, weekly's orange. Let's all be on the same page here. Beautiful range. Okay. I'm not going to give you a bullish target because the monthly target is there. And obviously, if we cross this trend line to the upside, it's going to be 40K. And if we roll over, I could give you a bearish target. That I could do. So my bearish target for this would be 21K. Okay. Wonderful. And then we continue on our daily. What do we see on our daily? Look at that doji that just printed. Crazy doji. So dojis, if you look at candles, I don't really I trade based on market structure and price action, but you know, there's a lot of traders that trade based on candle formation. I don't really do that, but I am aware that dojis are signs of reversals. So big, huge doji, something to be concerned of, something to be aware of more than anything, right? So on my daily time frame, what I do want to bring to your attention, same process just like my weekly in regards to finding my contraction phase, right? What is my contraction phase? This is my contraction phase right here. So this is what we need to be worried about, and only this. I am going to pull a POC, point of control, and the fixed range volume profile is right here, right? And wherever you want to start from, you'll pull it from the top to the bottom. And it's going to just give you a nice POC. And I'm going to market this as my daily POC. Change colors. And that's just identifying where the highest volume of traders is, and where price action could magnetically like come back to. Day POC. Let's change white. Okay. Oh, I do want to share my settings because my settings are so important. And if you're not following me on Twitter, you should be following me on Twitter. I am awakensoul_369. I do have a course if you're interested, and I have a beautiful community at Discord that you could be part of, and I do share all my setups just this morning, right, before I take my trades too, and I actually take the trades, and I prove that I take the trades. So yeah, one of a kind. What can I say? So that's my daily POC, just marking it, right? So right here in our day, what is our range, right? This is our high. Turn on the magnet also, and our day is orange, is yellow. So this is my high, this is my low, okay? And do I see a pattern? Do I see anything? No, not really. It's just, it went to the moon here, right? And now we're in a contraction phase, right? Trend phase, contraction phase, market structure. So for now in my daily, that's literally all I'm gonna do right now. Is just my daily range. I don't want to overdo it with the trend lines. And we have our day POC. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my 4-hour. My 4-hour, it's gonna give me more of a clarity of what's going on. So in my 4 hours, just like we did the POC, and I want to show you, I should keep it on, right? So this was my daily POC, right? Just focus on the whole contraction phase. I'm going to go to my 4 hours now. Let's see if it populates. In my 4 hours, right? This is still my contraction phase. So I'm going to grab a POC from here. What is it showing? I guess I'm gonna have to delete it. I just wanted to see where this blue line was, and it's right on the POC. So now I know. Let me go ahead and delete this. Where is it? Oops, wrong thing. I don't know. Delete. So the daily POC is going to act like a big support here. I mean the 4-hour POC. That's why I mark them. So price action is to come back under this 4-hour POC. It's just going to give me a confluence to take that short that I'm looking for. 4-hour POC. Right, and that's all you do. Mark it and get rid of it. There's too much noise, too much going on. So my 4-hour trend lines are so critical for me, for my trading strategy. So before we focus here, I just want to mark this key resistance because price action is above, right? Key resistance and 4-hour trend lines are green. And the reason I want to mark this and show it to you was because we never retested. We broke through and we just flew up, but we never retested. So if we break the 4-hour POC, the daily range, for me, I think we're definitely gonna at least retest this break to the upside. Okay, so that's my resistance based on price action. And another thing I'm gonna do here is my trend line, right, from where it broke. So use wick to wick, and I want to show you why it's so important for me to be like as accurate as possible. So as you can see, I have, oh, let me turn on my magnet. So 1 touch, 2 touches, right? So the reason I want to show you this because you can see how price action like was coiling right on the 4-hour trend line, broke down, and we kind of went back and retested. That's what I see. That's my observation, right? Another key thing I want to be checking is my 1226 EMAs as I trade with the trend, right? They're getting nice and tight. If there is a bearish rotation, I will keep that in consideration. But just based on this 4-hour trend line, I am going to give you a 4-hour target. And I am considering a short at this point. And my 4-hour target is going to be right around where our 4-hour POC is. So it's such a beautiful confluence here. Man, I love TA. Look at that. How cute is that? I think it's beautiful. So that's what I'm seeing. I mean, just look at what is the candles telling you. Like, stop all the noise, right? We have a beautiful trend line. We have price action above 1226 EMAs. We broke 4-hour trend line. We retested and came back down. So now if you turn on your higher high, lower low indicator that I love to use, we have officially created a new 4-hour low, right? So just looking at market structure, this could be my lower high and then continue to the downside, right? Also, another observation I did this morning on my community was this possible rotation, this possible like cup, inverted cup. So something to consider. So if we have a nice cup, right, we're gonna have a nice neckline, correct? So my neckline would be probably here, right where the daily, and then we would get a measured move, right, from our high to the neckline. Let me turn off the magnet. And that's how I assess the charts. I look at everything, and then we have a measured move to the downside, and not quite, but I mean, maybe if I straighten it out, not quite, but just around, you know, 4-hour target. Beautiful, right? Just another confluence that 27 800s is a key level for me to take, well, to take some profits for the short. Okay, so that's what my observations are. And in the 4-hour, what do I want to see? I want to mark my range too. This was my high. It is the weekend, it is Friday, so keep that in mind that the markets are closed. 4th of July is Tuesday. A lot of the big money market makers are taking their 4-week vacation, so we might not see a lot of movement, or we might. So just keep that in mind that I would say most of the weekends are slow and there's sideways action. So what's not to say that's going to keep us within this range right, within this range for till Monday, Tuesday, even Tuesday, because 4th of July is Tuesday. So let's go to Wednesday. Okay, so wait for confirmation of break. Set your alarms. It's so important. There's no need to rush in. You will get chopped up in ranges like this if you don't know what you're doing, right? For me as a scalper, you know, I've been trading it up and down every day because that's just what I do. But it could be super dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. So now that we know that the 4 hour could be, now that we have our 4 hour range, we're going to come to the 1 hour. The 1 hour is going to show me again my market structure. What is it showing me? That we're at a lower high. So I do expect a low to come next, right? But even if I expect it, I don't assume it and I don't take any action till it actually happens. So just right there, I just said it and it broke. So I just marked my hourly range, right? And we saw this down movement coming. I'm gonna erase higher high, lower lows. So many indicators that I use. So what am I seeing here, right? Again, after a trend phase, we have a contraction phase. So it's important to understand that as a trader, as a person that's analyzing the charts, like, what is your are you in a trend phase? Are you in a contraction phase, right? But we know, because you're with me, you know that this was a trend down, so this is our contraction phase. So now what is our contraction phase here is doing? So because it's really wicky, I like to sometimes turn on the line chart, okay, and then just go into my smaller time frames here and just visualize and see what can I see here. Right off the bat, I see a possible like flag here. That could be a possibility, right? Another possibility that I saw earlier was like a cute little rising wedge that I shared in my community. That could be a possibility too. So the 7-minute is really good. I like it. So I'm going to go for the 7-minute. I'm not going to move the 4-hour trend line, but I am going to place a new, what is a 7-minute trend line, just to make sure that, you know, everything's aligned here. So see, we have support, we have resistance, okay, and then we have, sorry, I need to organize this because I can never find the tools that I need. Okay, I'm gonna erase this possible inverted cup. So just right here, right? So like I said, we came up, we broke down, we retested. You can see a clear retest here. And possible, you know, downtrend from here. So my next big support is going to be this trend line, guys. This beautiful trend line. And based on this 1 touch, 2 touches here. So, so the way my strategy works and the way I trade is based on trend line breaks, 1226 EMAs rotating, and support and resistance. So I'm trying to find my range here. I'm trying to see what works for me, and most likely my range is going to be my 4-hour range, because we could have a bounce here, so we could short here, right? And we could definitely bounce. There's a lot of support going on here. We have a monthly support. You can see we have the POC here, and we have the trend line. So we have 3 forms of support, and you can see them all. Right, what's 20? This is POC, right? I'm pretty sure it's my POC. It's 4-hour POC. Okay, let me bring you over here so I can see you. I was using the 7 minutes here. Beautiful. So it gives you that confluence of not major, but you know, for a trader, this major support, so key support here. So for me to I would have shorted right there, to be honest. And then right here, so I'm gonna have this, right? This would have been my kind of a bull flag. You see, I'm sorry, a bear flag. You saw that 1 touch, 2 touch, like it's somewhat of a bear flag here. and it just broke to the downside. So I expect some sort of reaction here. And of course, if we break this, it's always good to our next level would be the daily low. Okay, so I hope you learned something. I hope you see what I see, and this is how I look at the charts. I set my range, I set my alarms. The charts are moving right now, so I'm probably gonna short the market. Always set stop losses, always have no expectation, no emotions, and just play what you see, right? So that's my trade. And yeah, and that's my setup for today. I hope you learned something. I love you all, and may the force be with you. And remember to join not Telegram, my Discord, and I will never ask you for money because there are so many scammers out there. So if you have someone, approaching you with my name, I will never, ever, ever ask you for money. Thank you, and have a wonderful weekend.